are stories that connect us to ourselves and each other. These stories reveal who we are and show us the many vivid, wild colors of our truth. Welcome to Soul Wanderings, where we raise spiritual awareness and foster connections through these shared stories and personal experiences. And now, exclusively on KGRA Radio, I give you your host for Soul Wanderings Radio. Here's AJ.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to my week. It's Soul Wanderings night, and Soul Wanderings is a show about journey stories. And we are hanging out here on the one and the only KGRAradio.com, which is heard throughout our universe every Wednesday from 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern. And each week we get to wander with a new guest about their authentic experiences through this human journey. And it's so fantastical. Fantastical is one of my favorite words.
A good word.
To have you here with us for our live show tonight. Hi guys, this is AJ Rasmussen. I am your host of Soul Wanderings. I also am an owner and manager of an intentional heart-centered healing space. It's called Vibes, Mind, Body, Spirit. And it's there where I get to assist others in their personal journeys in healing the mind, body, spirit, and of course, the heart. And alongside me this evening, you guys probably already heard a little bit, I have a guest co-host. And I'm pretty sure you are very familiar if you've been following the show, Natalie Peace.
Hello, everybody.
Everyone calls you the numbers lady.
I can do that.
That's how they remember you. She's co-hosted with me several times before. And if you are new to the world of Soul Wanderings, then please let me reintroduce Natalie Peace. She's one of my besties.
Yes.
I'll just have to throw that out there right away. And after 25 years or so working with the federal government, she made a decision to follow her purpose, her path. And now she owns and runs her own business doing life and grief coaching. And she's been an advisor for over 20 years and has been coaching for about 8 years. And I'm so happy to have you back on the show.
I'm so excited to be back. This is like my favorite thing to do too.
Really?
Yes. I love this. I'm like, get to be on the radio.
It's good.
And to hang out with you for like 2 hours. That's right. Just so.
Plus, because, we have to have an after party.
Yes.
It's always always in the plans when we can make it happen. Well, great. Thank you. Thank you for being here with me again tonight. And our guest, I'm excited for tonight.
Excited too.
It'll be a good one.
Learn about another person out there in the universe.
So good. So good. I really authentically enjoy and adore Soul Wandering. Make sure you guys are hanging out with us in the chat room tonight. It's fun to be there with other wanderers, and I hang out there. I can take your questions from there as well. And if you guys find yourself wanting to ask any questions, make sure you type them in all caps so I can grab them easily. And you can do that by going to kgraradio.com/chat. And our guest this evening reached out to me and shared with me his influence he had from a past guest of ours. And in doing so, he was able to share with me a little more about himself and, in addition, some music that he created. And I was deeply moved listening to his creations and knew he would be a great guest to have here on the show with us. He is a dark, ambient, new age solo pianist, musician who has had the opportunity to play on different internet programs like Night Tides, One World Music Radio, at Water's Edge, and a couple of his albums have been nominated for Ambient Album of the Year in 2017 and 18 by One World Music Radio. I'd like to welcome to the show Scott Lawlor. Hello, Scott.
Hi, how are you?
Fantastic. I'm so happy to have you here tonight.
Well, thanks for having me on the show.
Well, of course. And your influence from the past guests, I brought that up. I'd like to go over that sometime through our wandering tonight because it's such a great story.
Okay, but before we do that, I have to ask Natalie, why do they call you the numbers lady? Is it because you were an accountant in government or because you're into numerology?
Because I'm into numerology.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
And I use that in my coaching, and it actually helps me understand a client so that I can speak to them more in their language. So that's why. And on the previous show, we did quite a bit about numerology on one of the shows. So that's why.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
cool.
so not an accountant material.
No.
I'm not into rules and stuff like that. Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fitting you in a box, and you don't do boxes.
no.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometime through the show, maybe if we have time, she can do your numerology, Scott. It's quite fascinating.
Oh, okay, that'd be cool.
It's so accurate how
It's-
it really is quite amazing.
My mother-in-law does the whole astrology thing. So she did my chart a long time ago. So it's been a long time since I read it, so I don't remember what it says, but she's really into the astrology and things like that. And I've got another friend who's into tarot reading
Mm-hmm.
and stuff like that.
Oh, so good. It's all just fun when you can get the validation or even the insight into a deeper knowing of yourself or others.
Yeah.
I
And
find
there's so many different ways that it happens too. So
Yeah, I find it really
Yeah.
interesting, especially for the self-knowledge. So it's nice to have someone do your chart, but for the individual to follow up with some further of their own study so that they can, because I find that many times people fight against what's natural and
Yeah.
they want to change themselves the way that they were born. We're born a particular way to come and be a particular person. We were born to be the person that we are. And
Yeah.
so that's all in the stars and in the universal's way of making it happen. And I find that it's one way to learn about ourselves and own the stuff that's natural to us that isn't natural to anyone else.
Mm. Yeah, it is quite magical. I love that word too. I say that a lot. I'm sure my listeners know that by
there we
now.
go. Okay.
I say a lot, and that's magical.
Things are magical.
Because it's magical.
Right.
Yeah.
Scott, understand.
Yeah, there you go.
You get it. So, Scott, tell us a little bit about yourself in your words.
Well, let's see. Gosh, where do I could start near the beginning, I suppose. Well, I've always been interested in music when I was little. I've always been interested in music. My family was always into sports and stuff like that, so I didn't really fit in a whole lot with all that. So I was pretty much a loner when I was a kid. I would read a lot and listen to a lot of music and stuff like that. And then I went to, after high school, I went to college and got a degree in psychology and a degree in English. And then I wanted to be a novelist, but that didn't work out so well. So after dropping out of grad school, I got a keyboard and I just started touring around part of Northeast Ohio where I would play different gigs in coffee houses and stuff like that.
I feel like we got the gist of what you were saying. How long did you play in coffee shops, or do you still revisit that at all?
No, I don't play live out anymore. That was probably from 1993 until around 1998 or 9. So it was a good 6 or 7 years that I would play around.
Do you play in front of live audiences at all anymore?
No, I did it on the internet for a while when I was a DJ on the Still Stream radio network when I had my show called The Blind Flight. I would play improvised performances live on my show. But I quit doing that in 2016 because my heart just wasn't in broadcasting anymore. So I didn't want to be one of these people who went out on the bottom. I wanted to just stop when I felt it was right and not just keep going.
Always a good decision. Go out when you're top. And especially if your heart's not in it anymore. You know,
people can tell.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I felt the same thing, too. When my heart's not in this anymore, it's a good time to walk away. But good thing I love Soul Wandering. I'm not going anywhere unless they tell me I'm going somewhere.
Pretty sure
they're not. This is good. This is a good show.
You know, Scott, you have been such a huge supporter. I see all your retweets and things like that. I just want to say thank you, seeing how you brought that up. I appreciate that very much.
Oh, you're welcome. It's always helpful to support people when you can.
I agree. I absolutely agree. What was your favorite thing about doing the radio?
I think my favorite thing about doing the radio show was introducing people to music that they wouldn't hear anywhere else, because I have a pretty big collection of ambient music. And so it was always fun to try to go through my library and find songs that would fit into a specific theme and set up the playlists and just let people hear stuff that they wouldn't hear anywhere else on the internet.
It's really cool when you introduce someone to something new like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's neat. You did that for quite a long time.
Yeah, from 2008 until 2016. And I was on some other networks over those years too. But Stream was the network that was the best fit for what I was doing.
Oh, that is really good. I'm not good at the music thing. I love listening to music.
You mean like having a library and a playlist?
Right. No, I have plenty of playlists. If someone said, who sings that? I don't always remember. Yeah. But I love music as far, like, I always have it going on. It's always in the background.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as like putting how you did it on an actual show, that would stress me out.
That would not be your thing.
So kudos to you. I mean, it's a lot of work and a lot of pressure, I'm sure, just to keep it going and know all of the people involved, all the musicians and songs and things like that.
Well, the other thing is I'm not always the best at making decisions, so sometimes it was hard for me to decide on what the theme was going to be.
So is that because you read about a particular thing with decisions?
Well, I just don't do well at making decisions.
To make a decision.
I'm sure
I can't decide why that is.
Nice. Oh, that was good.
That was so good.
Yeah, so
were you always drawn to the ambient music?
Actually, I first started playing more new age music. If you think about people like Suzanne Shawnee, or you probably know who Yanni is.
Oh, of
people, yeah, people like that. But then I got into the ambient stuff after I got a bootleg of a sleep concert in the mail from somebody sent me a sleep concert by somebody named Robert Rich, who I'd never heard of before. And I listened to it and I was like, this is really cool. I'm going to try to see if I can play this kind of stuff myself. So I gave it a try and it worked out pretty well. And then I just went off in my own direction after that, doing lots of different things. I don't like to do the same thing all the time. So I play ambient. I still do some new age. I do solo piano. I've even done a little bit of progressive rock by doing covers of some Pink Floyd's, like early Pink Floyd material.
Ooh, how fun.
Nice. I'm curious about the sleep concert thing. I've never heard of a sleep concert.
Well, Robert Rich, he's an ambient musician from California, and he actually started doing sleep concerts back in the early 80s when he was a college student at Stanford University. And he would just set up his equipment and play for like 8 hours in a row all night.
So that's something you literally like sleep to, or?
Yeah.
Oh.
And it creates some interesting phenomena. Like it'll give you'll have some really interesting dreams, and just all kinds of other things will be going on because of all the extra stimulus from the music. It's not overt. It's pretty subtle, but it does create an interesting backdrop for your dream world and things like that. And sleeping in a room full of strangers also keeps you a little more on edge than you normally would be if you were just by yourself anyway.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. Wow.
That would be interesting.
Yeah.
That's something we'll have to put on our to-do list.
Our to-do list is hold a sleep concert.
Or participate.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
He doesn't do them as much anymore, but he's got some albums on Bandcamp that are recordings of different sleep concerts that he's done over the years.
Well,
So it's a really interesting concept.
That is.
well, speaking of music that you could easily sleep to because it's so relaxing and takes you to different places, that's how I feel about your music. When I listen to the things that you have shared with me, I am taken away to different places or feelings and emotions and things like that. And I've shared
Thank you.
before in the past, like it really is so good. And I feel like your music tells a story. When you create,
A lot of it does, yeah.
Is that part of the creation process for you?
Yeah, it depends on the piece. Some pieces, like my drone excursions, they don't really tell a story. They're just a title that I came up with. But albums like Soul Journey that you mentioned have a different, very specific concept. Or albums like what's another one? Transition, which was nominated for Album of the Year in 2017.
Oh.
Those all have very specific ideas and stories behind what I was trying to do at the time.
I know some musicians will just kind of go with the feeling and they'll play a couple of tunes and go from there. Some have the lyrics and then they put the music to it
the lyrics,
afterwards.
either lyrics first or music first. One of those.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Some people do the lyrics first. Some people do the music. My music doesn't have any lyrics.
Right. Well, I was just curious on what your process is. Just
Yeah,
because
how does it come to form?
Well, a lot of times I'll write the music first, and then when I'm listening to the playback, I'll come up with an idea for what I feel the music represents.
And your songs are very long.
They can be. I have some that are short, but a lot of them are pretty lengthy. Yeah.
I like it though. And in fact, I had a little refresher today and found you on Bandcamp and was playing it as I was doing my work. And I was very productive today.
Oh.
I have to thank you for that.
Well, you're welcome.
State where I could just get a bunch done and I wasn't thinking about other things. It was task at hand. This beautiful music playing in the background that I could listen to. It was very nice.
Brought you into mind focus of sorts.
It did.
Nice.
It was so good.
I just got to listen to the Moth to the Flame one. I looked that up and I was like, wow, I could just the beginning, because I then had to get into my day, which isn't like in an office just doing work. But I was like, I could literally picture the moth going to a flame or to the light bulb and just like.
Oh yeah, the moth at the porch light or whatever it was.
That one, the moth at light thing.
Moth with the porch light. Yep. Now that one I didn't even use my keyboard when I created that one. One was created from just different samples that I found.
Wow.
On the internet, I used different effects and just things inside my computer to create that album. So I didn't even use my synthesizer for that one.
I was just mixing that. That's incredible.
Yeah.
It's not my forte. Music, I'm an audience to the music.
Yeah.
That's neat.
Scott?
Uh-huh.
I want people to be able to hear your music, and we'll share that with them later. We're talking about it right now, but I'm sure everyone's like, I want to listen, but I want them to wait.
They need to listen to us first.
I want them to hear your journey and all your stories.
Don't multitask
first.
too much.
Yeah.
But it really is a fascinating process. I am not musically inclined. I am not good at playing any musical instrument, not even a harmonica, like nothing.
Not even the kazoo?
No, probably not.
Oh.
I haven't played with one since a kid, but I mean, really, I have that's not my gift. There's just some people who don't have that gift, and I am one of those people.
Mm-hmm.
So I truly admire the ability that you have to create emotion and all these, visions and things like that with your music.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
Great at telling a story.
Thank you.
It's really cool.
Well, so I was curious because I don't know how your blindness came about. I don't even know that part of the story, but I was curious if that definitely has a factor in you as well, how you're limited in one sense, but maybe the other senses get stronger. Yeah.
Well, it limits me in terms of the kind of musical gear that I can use in terms of hardware. It would be really hard for me to use keyboards that have a lot of menus. Keyboards like the XS Virus, which sound really good, but I couldn't really use them because there's so many menus on them. I mean, it's got a lot of knobs, but to use all that, you'd still have to know where you are on the machine, and that's a little harder. Other than that, it doesn't really limit my creativity.
I would
think that it enhances, not limits.
Right. She's wondering how it works for you, because it would be an enhancement where you're actually feeling things from a different perspective.
Right.
Are you asking the whole thing about like because I'm blind, are my other senses naturally better? Is
More
that the same sort of thing?
Mm-hmm.
I would say no. I mean, not naturally. I mean, I've obviously, when you lose one sense, you have to use your others more to compensate for that loss. But it's not something that just happens naturally.
Yeah.
Okay, so not naturally, but you feel like that has happened.
Probably, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, this is a good place to take a break. We are still wandering with Scott Lawlor this evening, and we are just getting started on our wandering. So be sure to stay close because we will be right back.
Is that a new music app?
Yeah, check it out. Surfer Music Discovery. It links to thousands of online stations, but the twist is you see the song names and artists that are now playing live.
That's different. No guessing. Looks like a waterfall of music.
So many formats. Rock, oldies, country, R&B, jazz, and a whole lot more.
How's that spelled?
Surfer. S-U-R-F-R.
Is it expensive?
It's free. No need to sign up or sign in.
Get the Surfer Music app free from Google Play or the App Store.
Okay, nurse, let's get this man to the ER stat.
Right away, doctor.
We see this every day. Heart attack or angina pain due to blocked and clogged arteries. Chelation can remove obstructions or blockages from arteries and help avoid painful and expensive surgery. Now there's Angioprim. It's a liquid oral chelation product that you take with juice. You start to feel the results fast. Angioprim increases blood flow all over the body, and that means more energy and strength to take on the day with less aches and pains. 60 years of research has gone into chelation, and Angioprim is the result. A safe and easy way to unblock your veins and arteries from buildup that slow circulation.
Paging Dr. Jones. Please report to the emergency room right away.
Log on now for a special radio offer from Angioprim. That's angioprim.com/radio. ANGIOPRIM. Angioprim.com/radio or call 877-882-7221. That's 877-882-7221.
Author Kathleen Watts, a.k.a. Thought Continuum, shares a double abduction experience in her book, Catch Me If You Can, a story of alien abduction and culprit plunder. This 1976 true life account of a close encounter in northern Utah near Hill Air Force Base. Imagine driving home from the movies with your spouse when your car suddenly stops working, and it's in that very same moment that you realize you are the only thing animated. Catch Me If You Can, the 5th anniversary edition with lead-in material for the upcoming release of Payback is a Glitch from award-winning author Kathleen Watts. Get your copy today. Log on to thoughtcontinuum.com. That's thoughtcontinuum.com.
Are you intrigued by Paranormal Talk Radio? You'll love the new Paranormal Radio app.
from TalkStream Live. You'll find a great selection of talk shows covering UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, and much more. Download the Paranormal Radio app now and start listening to the very best in paranormal talk entertainment, including the network you're listening to right now. The Paranormal Radio app, free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
It's not a lifestyle we chose. We were born this way. KGRARadio.com.
Welcome back to Soul Wanderings here on KGRARadio.com. We are wandering with our guest this evening, musician Scott Lawlor. And with me and Scott tonight, we have a co-host, Natalie Peace.
Yeah.
She's always so happy, Scott. This is
I can hear the smile in the voice.
So true.
She's like this all the time.
I wake up this way.
She's just, can't be sad around. Oh, you can be sad around Natalie. She allows you to be, but it's hard to stay in that space.
Yeah.
So anyway, back to you. We were talking about your music and just the influence that it has. I'm wondering, with your music, what inspires you to create it? What are the things going on in your life or the things that you feel that inspire you to create a piece?
Well, I'm inspired by literature. I used to write some music that was based on like political events and things like that, but I got all that out of my system, thankfully, so I don't do that anymore.
Oh, good.
So that's good. I try not to draw a lot of attention to that, but I don't know. A lot of times I just sit down at the keyboard and play. And it's a I suppose it can be a sort of meditation for me, depending on what I'm playing.
That would make sense.
Yeah. Like there's this series of albums I have this called Bells for an Imaginary Audience, and it's 3 volumes. It was originally just going to be a trilogy, and actually on the 3rd volume I say it's the end of the series, but it's really not, because I'm coming out with a 4th one pretty soon.
Isn't
yeah. And those, when I sat down to play all those, it really put me into a more of a centered, meditative frame of mind, because there are all these bells, and stuff like that. And I like bells anyway.
What makes you like bells so much?
Well, probably just the resonance of them and just the sound. I've always liked bells. We've got these wind chimes outside on the patio that are really cool. They're these really big wind chimes from the Woodstock Company, and they're really nice. I remember one time we were at home and we had to hang the wood chimes in the kitchen because the patio wasn't fully built yet. And so my daughter Leah comes home from school and she goes up to the wind chimes and she shakes them really hard and says, "It's time for school." And I'm like, they're not supposed to play like that. They're supposed to be a gentle breeze, not really shaking hard. So
do you ever find yourself like listening or creating music in your mind as you listen to your bells or your wind chimes?
Yeah, sometimes. I've always got some kind of music going in my head anyway.
Oh, do you? I guess that would be a musician thing, wouldn't it?
I would imagine so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I've always got something going on.
Why did you choose the style types of music that you focus on?
Nobody has ever asked me that before. Why did I choose ambient? I don't really know if I have an answer for that question, except it just sounds.
It chose you. Oh, it chose you.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well, it's always fascinating to me why people choose the genre that they do.
True.
Yeah. Maybe it did choose me. I never thought about that.
I would like to be a rap artist. That's a random fact, I know, but
facts about AJ.
A rap artist. Here you go.
Hey, it's music, but meaningful.
I'm having a hard time imagining that.
Give me a couple
after-hours show.
Yeah, give me a couple of weeks and I'll freestyle for you one day.
That's funny.
Kidding. I'm so funny.
Oh, that's good. Oh, that's funny.
But in all honesty, I think that would be a lot of fun. Not like the crazy gangster rap, but
just to be able to free flow.
Just to free flow. And just have that rhythm, I think it would be a lot of fun.
I admire their ability to talk like that.
Yeah, and really quick. I stumble on my words when I speak slowly.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh, Scott, I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay.
You laughing made me laugh, and now Natalie's laughing.
Yeah.
Just a good time.
Yep, that's pretty cool.
Do you consider? I'll take it down a couple of notches.
Why? This is good. This is good. Good energy.
Maybe he'll be creating music that's all. Do you have anything that's about laughter? Any music that you think about that's
Well, he
laughter
does dark ambient. So would light ambient be the more playful, energetic type of music?
I wouldn't say playful. I would say it's more ethereal.
Ooh.
Oh, that kind of light.
Yeah.
It's good light.
Yeah, that kind of the ethereal albums.
Now, you and I have spoke before, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And part of the way that we connected is from a past guest and your experience with her experience of a near-death experience.
Yep, and that was Nancy Rhines.
Yes, I really adore that woman and her story.
Yep.
It's so fascinating to me. And her book was so good. I've actually listened to it on Audible a couple of times now, but what was your draw to her story and near-death experiences in general?
Well, gosh, I hope I can do this without getting too emotional. I'll do my best anyway. Let's see. My brother died in November of 2017. So we're coming up on the 2-year anniversary of that. And one of the things that happened as a result of that was I became really interested in, near-death experiences and stuff like that. And it took like a year for me to talk to my sister-in-law about that. Because, during our call on the first anniversary last November, obviously we talk a lot more than that, but I told her that, I just, wanted to make sure that he was okay. And so I just got really interested in near-death experiences. And Nancy's was one of the first ones that I heard. And I heard a bunch of her interviews. And her story just touched me so profoundly that, I had to go to the keyboard and just write the Soul Journey album. It took a while to do that one, actually, because that one's pretty complex. It's not as improvised as a lot of my other albums. It took me quite a while to get that one done. But the songs have to do more with my imaginings of what her experience was like, not necessarily the messages that she came back with and talked about in her book.
Mm.
And so Soul Journey was a pretty personal album for me. I think it came out probably a year or close to a year after Transition came out. Transition was the album that I wrote after I came back from my brother's funeral. And that one's had a lot of people have responded pretty well to that one too.
So the music that you're creating obviously are coming from very deep and personal places.
So, yeah, in these cases.
What was the thing that drew you to Nancy with her experience? Why was her story in particular so profound to you?
I think it was because of the the detail. I mean, she went into so much detail about what her experience was like, and I've heard other near-death experiences, other people talking about their near-death experiences, but hers was pretty unique in a lot of ways, and I'm sure you remember a lot about it. But just the detail that she went into about her guide and the landscape, just everything about it was really unique and a very touching experience.
Right. It's so amazing how much detail she remembers.
Yeah. She's actually I think she's writing another book now.
Ooh, I hope so.
Yeah.
That would make me very happy.
Yeah.
And not only that, not only is she a fantastic writer or sharer of her experience, she's an amazing artist as well.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. Yeah, I've heard that she's a really good painter.
Yeah, her artwork is incredible. Definitely. So with your pull towards near-death experiences, what kind of influence has that had on you by listening not just to hers but to others, or being fascinated with that journey in it of itself?
What kind of pull?
Yeah, like why are you pulled towards not just because of your brother, but like you as a person? Like what's your fascination with that kind of an experience?
In college, well, I first heard about near-death experiences when I was in college. That was a long time ago, so I'm dating myself here, but that was like back in the mid-'80s. And I forgot about it for a while, but then after my brother died and I started thinking more about it, those kinds of experiences, I thought about, like, it's hard for me to believe that we just live our life here and then when we die, that's the end of it. It just, something with that doesn't sit well with me. I feel that there's got to be something else beyond that. If that makes any sense, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, it does to me.
Yeah.
And I think even though if someone doesn't believe that, just the hopes that there is something after this, or there is a deeper meaning to what we're going through here,
which definitely comes into light when someone close to you dies.
Yes.
Then many people dive into that for an understanding.
Mm-hmm.
And to help them with their grief.
Yeah. Here Natalie is. She's an amazing grief coach. She looks at grief very differently than a lot of people I know. You look at it, Natalie, in a way that has resonated with me most. Like when people have died, like I understand, and it's sad, and I can feel for that. But you also look at it. Explain. So I'm not talking for you. Explain to us what that concept.
The way that I look at grief.
It's so different, Scott. I want you to hear how she does, because I feel like it would even assist you, because I know you hold some of that stuff with your brother.
Oh,
this may even be really good for you.
So it's interesting. I talk about grief on a regular basis. I have 3 or 4 groups a week that I sit with grievers, and we talk about life after loss. And we're talking about how do you live beyond a particular loss. And recently, there's lots of different things that come to me or through me about this, but the most recent thing has been the ability to come undone, to allow a loss to undo us in a way, because through that we break open for expansion. So there's expansion that comes from the difficult times of life where we might go into what would appear to be darkness, but there's growth that happens, like when the seed goes into the ground and has to completely come undone to become a plant. It's this growth that happens after. And sounds like for you, that was this exploration of being able to understand the, after death aspect. And the only thing we really have are people that have had these near-death experiences that come back and can articulate that space.
Because a rebuilding has to happen. So
yes.
Yeah.
And then for me, I see this is very much a human experience. This is not about being spirit. Mm-hmm. So I find that that's also where we really learn our humanity, is when we have a loss of some sort. and experience that grief, like going all in. I'm like, go into it, go into those emotions, go into that.
Yeah, and grief is an interesting thing because, you know, some people might say after like a year or two, oh, you should go over it, but it's something that you never really.
I love when people
really
shit
get over.
I love when people shit all over us.
Yes, and those I find that the people that actually have a concept of being done at a year or two have not experienced grief, so they're not really good experts. And
you know, the sibling grief is going to be different from you know, like the loss of a spouse or the loss of a child grief. It's different. In fact, some people say that the sibling grief, like the siblings are almost the forgotten mourners. That's what some people call us.
Yes, I've heard that.
Yeah.
I've never heard that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I haven't lost a sibling, and so that wouldn't be familiar to me.
Right. So there's this experience, especially in the family. So that happens a lot in the family dynamic, where even if a parent has lost the other parent, then or has lost the child, then so it's the parent's grief that kind of rolls over, and so you cannot be nearly as sad as the parent that's lost the child if it's your sibling that died.
I've read that too.
Yeah.
There's a really good book about this whole thing. It's called "Recovering from the Loss of a Sibling." I don't remember who the author is, but it's probably pretty easy to find on the internet.
You'll have to take note of that one, Natalie. So we brought up spirituality a little bit, and
then we wandered away into grief, and
right. Well, that's what wandering is all about, right? We go all over the place.
Just go off track and keep going wherever we're going to go.
Yeah, I mean, it's beautiful.
The flow of conversation. Yay!
That's what we're doing. Hanging out with each other and having this great old conversation.
Yep.
And I'm with two amazing humans. Wondering.
Oh,
be with you.
I just love this life. This is good stuff. So, but the whole spirituality, obviously you're a spiritual being, right, Scott?
You know, it's hard to say. I'm not quite sure. I'm still not quite sure on that because I grew up Catholic. And, you know, one of the things that, you know, when you're a kid and you don't want to go to church and your mom says, well, you know, God spends all his time at our house. You can spend a week, you can spend an hour at his house, blah, blah, blah. You know, the whole guilt thing which is associated with Catholicism.
Oh, my.
Yeah, you know, and then when I went to college, I went from being a Catholic, I went to a Southern Baptist university, which was totally different. It was like the opposite. And then after being around Southern Baptist people for like 5 years or however long it was that I was getting my undergraduate degree, then I went to graduate school at a Catholic university. And that's when I discovered things like centering prayer and stuff like that. And then I sort of got into like the New Age movement a little bit. And then, you know, got into deism and all that. So I don't know what I am spiritually. I have no idea.
It's okay. You don't need a title.
Full spectrum.
It really is. It really is. But what does spirituality mean to you then?
I don't know how to answer that question.
That's okay.
That's another one I haven't really been asked. So
there I go. I always ask really random questions.
Yeah, that one I'm not sure how I would answer that.
Well, there's no right or wrong answer. I don't even know how I would answer that question.
So if I ask a different one that's like, what is your rock that you hold on to when, like, if you're thrown into the rough waters of life? What holds you? What do you hold on to?
Well, I would probably say it's my music.
Okay.
There you go.
That's a part of spirituality too. That's like connection through harmony and through the tones and frequency, which is ultimately what spirit is. I say that's pretty divine.
I would say so. I can see that being really neat, Scott. When you say that it's your music, I can relate to that in a lot of ways. Where I said I wasn't musically inclined, I am a creative. My outlet art. I do mixed media art because I like to paint with my hands and tear things and build things and all these things. But anytime I'm going through something challenging, I always resort to art. That's very beautiful.
Well, that's how it is with the artists. We resort to the thing that we seem to do the best.
Right. And where you said that when you create music and it is somewhat meditative to you, I feel the same way when I create art. It is a meditation for me.
Mm-hmm.
See, we're more alike than I thought.
Look at that.
Well, that's cool.
And I like Scott. He's a nice fella.
Oh, well, thank you.
So tell me a little more. Obviously, you're a musician, and you're known for music. Are you known for anything else besides your radio?
See, my music and my radio show. Those are probably the two big things.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a stay-at-home dad.
Ooh, that's cool.
Yeah, my wife says I'm a stay-at-home dad who writes music for horror movies. Which is a good job, which is a good description, even though none of my music has been in horror movies, it easily could be, or some of it could be anyway.
Oh yeah, for sure, I agree with that.
I mean, not Soul Journey or a Transition, but albums like The Messenger and Child of Rage, which was actually inspired from by a movie of the same name. Those could be in horror movies. So
I'll have to look those up because I like scary music, like deep.
Actually, the Child of Rage album, I found the guy on Twitter who wrote the incidental music for the movie in 1992. It was one of those weird made-for-TV movies. And I gave him a copy of the album, and he said that my music would have fit the film perfectly.
Oh, wow.
I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And the dude's, I think he's a lawyer now. I don't think he works in music anymore. So that was pretty cool that he liked my album.
That would be really neat. And a day late and $1 short. Dang it.
Yeah, I'm always $1 short though.
Do you think, or is it even on your radar at all to have your music put with a show, with a movie?
That's a very competitive field. Being in the having your music being in movies and stuff like that. And I'm not very competitive, so somebody actually asked me about using my music for a documentary earlier this year, and so he paid me a certain amount of money. I can't remember what it was exactly, but he said my music would be in this documentary, and I don't even know if it's come out yet. So I'll have to follow up, dude, and find out what happened with that.
Take note and follow up. I'd like to know what it is so I can hear it.
So we can check out the documentary.
We can kudos to you.
Yeah, I think the documentary is supposed to be called Why Can't I Be Me Around You? I think it's some sort of an LGBT documentary maybe or something like that. But he said it was going to be shown at some film festivals, and there was going to be one like in I think it was Austin. He asked me if I wanted to go, and I'm like, no, it's like 3 or 4 hours away. So I'll have to find out about if that documentary's even been released yet.
Yeah,
I'll let you guys know.
Follow up with them for sure. That would be really neat to have something like that out in the world, just no matter what it looked like. But your music stands on its own as it is, just so you know. Like you don't need a movie or anything else like that to prove that you're this amazing artist. You already are all by yourself.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Well, it's my truth. It's very true to me.
Easy to say things like that because they're true, huh?
Do you have one song of yours that you will never get sick of playing? Is it something that you just really, really love every single time you play? Or do you feel that way with all of your music?
I would say Divine Presence from the Soul Journey album.
And the Soul Journey album is the one that you created after Nancy's book?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I have a lot of listening to do after this interview.
So do I.
Well, there's a lot of music up there. It'll take a while, but
that's okay.
Yeah.
How many songs have you created that are out in the world to share?
Oh, I don't know. 225,000. No, I have no idea. I don't.
Wow.
No, I'm kidding.
And how are you a stay-at-home dad? How does this work out?
Well, because I drink a lot more coffee than everyone else, and I probably sleep less than everyone else. So that's how that works. No, I don't know exactly how many songs, but it's a lot, and I've still got a lot of unreleased material that I'll be putting out. So yeah, I usually get 2 reactions to my music, and the 2 reactions are either I love it or I don't understand it.
Really?
Yeah.
I could see how someone wouldn't understand it if they weren't in touch with their feels.
Yeah.
I mean,
so nobody says they hate it, which is good.
Yeah. Although I've had there have been a couple of people who say it doesn't do anything, and I'm like, what does that even mean?
Does it resonate? They're too much of a metalhead or something like that. There's no.
Well, I used to be into heavy metal actually. Yeah, back in the day, I had this long hair down to my shoulders. I was into like Slayer and all that stuff, and then I heard Tangerine Dream on a show called Musical Starstream. And then everything just changed after that.
Tangerine Dream.
I got more into New Age and all that after hearing all that other stuff.
That question that said,
we'll have to talk about musical influences when we get back from the break. You are listening to Soul Wanderings here on KGRAradio.com, and we will return shortly to continue our wandering with our guest, Scott Lawlor.
KGRA fans and conference goers, the first big event of 2020 is all set. Join the KGRA crew in Big Bear Lake, California this January for Alien Snowfest 3. Go to aliensnowfest.com right now. See the lineup and get in on the October special for only $79. Go to aliensnowfest.com right now. $79 gets you a full weekend pass, but it's only for October, so get there now. aliensnowfest.com.
Feeling sluggish, bloated, gassy, and, well, you know, want some relief? Try Life Change Tea at getthetea.com. Our unique blend of all natural herbs go to work on your digestive tract, giving you So before you try our super strength formula. It does a great job removing intruders that jack you up. Thousands of people use Life Change Tea every month, so try it because you're gonna love the way you feel. And here's a little pick-me-up. Order now and receive 10% off your first order by entering in 10 today in the coupon code. That's 10 today in the coupon code. Go to getthetea.com. That's getthetea.com. Enter 10 today in the coupon code for your 10% discount. Wow, feeling good never felt so good. Get some tea love at getthetea.com. Changing America one tea bag at a time.
You're listening to the KGRA Digital Broadcasting Station, Salt Lake City, Utah, Van Buren, Arkansas.
For the thousands of wounded warriors returning from battle, Wounded Warrior Project has developed the Warriors to Work program, a career counseling service that helps wounded warriors translate their military experience to a civilian job. These extraordinary men and women bring more than just teamwork and inspiration to the workplace. They bring proven world-class job skills. And to ensure proper placement, Wounded Warrior Project works with employers to find just the right job fit. Talented, skilled, and eager to get back to work, you have the opportunity to hire a seasoned veteran. Contact Wounded Warrior Project at findwwp.org. Welcome home the brave.
Around the world for decades have come high strangeness reports of mysterious aerial lights, beams, animal mutilations, human abductions, secret space and military programs focused on an alien presence. One reporter of these Earth mysteries is Emmy Award-winning TV producer, writer, and editor Linda Moulton Howe. She reports and edits the science, environment, and real X-Files news website, earthfiles.com.
We are moving from the paradigm that we are alone in the universe to a new one in which we are not alone. And something out there is interacting with us, our animals and plant life, forcing glimpses of other realities upon us.
Linda has produced 4 large books about these phenomena with hundreds of color images and illustrations that reviewers such as New York Times best-selling author Jim Marrs describes as an amazing accumulation of evidence. All her books, An Alien Harvest, the 2-volume Glimpses of Other Realities, and Mysterious Lights and Crop Circles, along with documentaries, are available in the shop at earthfiles.com.
KGRAradio.com is your conference connection station.
Welcome back to Soul Wanderings on KGRA Digital Broadcasting, Salt Lake City, Utah, Hudson Valley, New York. You can find Soul Wanderings here as well as several other platforms. And you can choose like iTunes, TalkStream Live, iHeartRadio, Spreaker, Spotify, the list just goes on and on. But make sure you check out the official KGRA Radio on YouTube. That's where all the latest show archives are found. My show and all the shows on KGRA. But wherever you are joining us from tonight, welcome. It's so good to have you here wandering with us this evening. If you guys have questions for our guests, we are headed into the second half of our wandering. And our guest this evening is Scott Lawlor. He's a musician, ambient music, and new age music, and all that good stuff. Welcome back to the show, Scott. Okay. In the meantime, Natalie, hi.
Hi.
So I'm excited to have you back co-hosting. We want to make this a regular thing. We've always said that.
Yes.
And it's been a moment.
It has been a moment. That's life happens and things keep going, but it's good. I just am so happy that this came up.
Well, catch us up on where you've been lately, because your plate has become very full. A lot of people are getting to know the magic of Natalie Peace. So what does that look like?
That's so it's fascinating. I'm going through a transition of my own. And so back when I understood I'd be leaving the federal career, I once again am having this universal push to expand myself in ways that more public speaking. So I see that coming in. So anyone that wants to have me come and talk to a group, I love getting up in front of a group, and I'm learning more and more that's not what everyone can do. No. So most people can't get up into a group and just get going. Let's talk about
and hold
stuff.
The audience's attention, right? Because that's the thing. Engagement is huge. I've gone to a lot of public speakers where I literally slept with my eyes open, because you don't want to be rude and cold. But I was not present.
Peace out.
Yeah. But then also once I started being aware of where I spent my time and energy, if it wasn't working for me, I would just simply leave. But I want to go to places where the speaker captures my attention and I learn something. And in the meantime, you were saying about public speaking being your thing.
Public speaking and the ability to bring what many people consider really difficult conversations. Mm-hmm. So just earlier today, I was talking to a group of people that actually run a senior living center. And when you run a senior living center and you have many residents that are in their senior years, you're going to have people leaving for various reasons, and that's going to tug you emotionally. So that was part of what I was talking about, was the ability to not be afraid of connecting and still being vulnerable enough to connect and risk having feelings later on when someone isn't there. So that's one of the interesting dynamic. I've been working much more than I ever did before in this last 6 months with seniors, like people that are in their 80s and 90s.
Hello?
Hi there.
Scott.
I think I'm back. I think I'm here.
Wonderful. Welcome back to Soul Wanderings.
You're here?
Hi. Well, I hopefully I'm here for a while. This phone is crazy.
You know what? It happens. Technology isn't perfect, although we like to hope that it is, because it does so many amazing things for us. And
the reception, I don't think, is very good over here anyway.
Well, we can hear you great, if that matters. And we're happy that you were able to connect back with us. And a big thank you to Race for getting that going.
Yeah.
Natalie was just sharing with us. I wanted her to finish her sentence really quickly. You're working with the seniors, and
so there's been, for me personally, it's been very interesting to have dialogue with people who are in the age of their life where perhaps their memory is failing. Their body definitely doesn't work like it used to. I just spoke today with a lady whose body changed significantly. She gained a lot of weight. And so she's just become more of a recluse, stays in a room, and because she's not necessarily comfortable like maybe she was previously, but having conversations of what it's like to be right there, close to the exit of life's exit.
Right.
And I appreciate the knowledge from my own experience of what it'll be like when I get there. Very expensive.
I keep losing the signal. I can't hear.
Well, can you hear me? Let's do
so
this.
Where else can I go? I don't know.
Scott, can you hear me enough to share where people can get in touch with you? To share your music with the audience, or how they could get in touch with you, things in that nature. Where is the place that you could refer them to?
My Bandcamp website at http:// Lawlor, LAWLOR, .bandcamp.com. Yeah, and on the page there's also a link to my YouTube channel.
Several videos there for people to listen to your magic, your beautiful, beautiful music that you have created.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. I did not even know you had a YouTube page. So that's something I'll be checking out. I've just been listening to your music over on Bandcamp, so this is really neat.
Oh, okay, cool.
But I do want to make sure everyone does go ahead and follow you on YouTube under Scott Lawlor. That's LAWLOR. And also, you guys, he is on Bandcamp. ScottLawlor.bandcamp.com. Scott, it has been wonderful to have you on the show again. Thank you for spending time with us tonight.
So delightful talking with you.
And I think we've lost him. So we'll carry on with the show because I do have a co-host. So you guys will have to just hear me talk for the rest of the night. Although I do have to put it on record, and I don't know if he's listening right now. Warren did volunteer to come and hang out tonight.
Well, nice.
If there was any kind of complications, because sometimes that happens, and
any
he knows.
Little snafus that go on.
Yeah, but we have you here, so he's off the hook. You're welcome.
I'm on the hook.
Natalie's
good.
Natalie's on the hook. But we enjoy your company very much.
It's fun.
So I want to go back because I was going to bring this up after the show when we were, having our after party, but I want to talk about that transition when we're at that place in our lives where we know like this is the end of this journey, but we're still here, and what that looks like. What are those experiences like being around humans who are towards the end of this experience?
So it's interesting because I'm not like interacting with people that are necessarily. They're not in assisted livings. They're in senior living. So they're still quite active.
But still, that's in their awareness. It's in our awareness now when we're not even close. I hope not.
Right.
Yeah.
So what I'm learning is, one, it's interesting talking with seniors when their mind is starting to go and they may be starting to experience different levels of dementia. And so you have the same thing that they're speaking over and over again, except I'm dealing with them in like a group, and then every couple of weeks I'll go and interact with them. And so for myself, raising the awareness that I am simply having a conversation in the present. So for me, it's a little bit different than when I'm working with people where I'm trying to work them through their grief.
Mm-hmm.
This is more about being with their different emotions that they are going to talk about just right then.
Right. That are coming up in the moment.
Without trying to think, how am I going to fix? How I'm going to gear them into changing different levels of behavior or anything like that, that I would do with coaching someone that was much younger. I don't look at it, or I've come to understand it's different. The other thing is I didn't really understand much about dementia, but in the course of this part of the work that I'm doing, I had this little education on dementia where I understood that one of the ladies that I was working with, her fear was coming up because she was starting to lose memories and had shifted from where she lived in another state and got moved into this senior living place. And so everything that was familiar with her is no longer around her. So here she is forced. She's 92. She's like, how did I ever get to be 92? Whose idea was this? So I
would feel the same way if I make it to 92.
That's also come up. That's like, I didn't think that this would, how do you get to be the age when you're in your 80s or in your 90s? You just keep waking up every morning. It's like, and so you never really know how long you're going to live.
92.
Just 92. And her experience and her emotions that she's having, and having a lot of fear or not necessarily anxiety, but really being afraid. And that's
afraid of what?
It's just experiencing fear, which
with no particular reason, just fear in general.
Just kind of fear, which was new for her. And so that is an aspect of dementia. Not like full-blown dementia, but when you start losing fear of being alone. So one of the things is fear of being alone and afraid when you're alone and starting to lose some of those faculties. We don't really think about it.
Right.
And so it's something that could be disconcerting for like family members or people that are around the person. So I just was with her. It was an interesting experience to say, I think that's part of what you're experiencing about having moved and in a different place and having to form new memories.
Right.
And she's like, I don't want to hear that. I said, I know. But it's a difficult conversation when you say what you're experiencing is natural and normal and part of the process. And people will often want to rebel against that because so back to your question where you were saying what that's like being around. So the people that are living full lives, like many, the children are many people. So if we have at our age, for 30s, 40s, 50s, whatever that is, have parents that are starting to lose some of their abilities or they have to move into senior living, we're in this busy, busy, busy part of our life when they're not, but we don't want them to die either. So we want to pull them back into life. We want them to stay active. We want to pull them back into living. And what can be hard is to allow someone to be in a space. Where do we ever bring in dying? When is that okay? That's tough. Those are tough things in life.
There are conversations that we avoid having. The getting old part, definitely. The dying part, most definitely.
Right. Because it strikes fear in us that are living or loss or even in them. We don't want them to be upset or all these things that go on that don't make it a simple conversation where many times they simply want to be heard. But it can be difficult when they want to be heard about the same thing over and over again. So it's really complex.
Right. Well, and I have, even for myself, have had some frustrations being around people who are older because I'm not sure how to connect with them. Not that not that they wouldn't have similar experiences than I would, but there's something there that prevents the connection. And I'm not sure what that is, because I don't want that. I want to connect, but I'm just not sure how or what that would look like. And in fact, I was on the Book of Faces the other day, and there was this story about someone seeing an elderly human trying to do like simple things. I think it was like find their car in the parking lot at the store or something, and how people are just busy going right past this person and not acknowledging that they really didn't remember where they parked or assisting them in any way. And they simply just took a moment and acknowledged that they were in a moment of probably fear and wondering where their vehicle was, but it had put the person who assisted them to the car. I don't know why they were driving, but that's a whole other conversation. But it also made the person who assisted them like really think about, we're so busy with the hustle and bustle of our life that we don't stop to look like that's going to be us in 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, whatever that looks like. And how scary and confusing it must be for them as an older human. Like, how did I get here? How was I these people who are running around having the hustle and bustle to this?
Right.
And I can't remember where my vehicle is. And that's really been on my mind since I've seen that. And that's been within the last week. So when you bring up, working with the older generations, I'm thinking, wow, there's a reason I need to look at this. I mean, I am getting older, but it's real conversation that I feel needs to happen. And unfortunately, I've had those hard conversations with my son because I've had to look at my own mortality of a couple of times, not a few, but a couple real times, and have had to, what do we do? What does it look like? What do I want? And it was and is a hard conversation to have.
So there's the conversation about dying, and then there's the conversation about living when things progressively get worse. And then the other understanding that when you group a bunch of senior people together and they're going through various things, that multiplies their losses because they get to know people in those areas. And so one of the groups I talked to recently had 13 people that within the last couple of months had left that living facility, not necessarily dying. Some of them did, but then some of them just because they were too sick to go. Or you could have a good friend that suddenly has a stroke. So it has an emotional experience. I thought that's an interesting sociological experience where there hasn't really been facilities all the time grouped together where people, they've been around for a long time, but they haven't always been as used as there's so many people getting older right now.
Absolutely.
One of the other things when I'm sitting among them, I'm trying to absorb the experience and learn their wisdom about where they are for myself. It's kind of a selfish thing.
I wanted to go there. I did. I wanted to go there and say, but what are you learning from them?
Oh.
Because I have sat in many circles when I've gone to just be with elderly humans, just because sometimes I do random things like that. And it's like a little kid at story time. I will just sit there and listen for hours and hours about them, even just reminiscing about their life, to actually real, experiences that I will learn from. I bet you are able to share a lot of really incredible moments that way.
Yeah, to listen to. So we live here in Utah, and during World War II, there were prisoners of war that were kept in an area just west of where we are.
Right.
Here.
I want to talk about it, and I just looked at the time. So, but that I want to hear. I love the history stuff.
I
and
know.
Race, I'm sorry. We are going to take a quick break. But when we get back, we're going to hear about that because that's really fascinating. And just that people even lived through it and were able to tell the story. So you're listening to Soul Wanderings here on KGRAradio.com. And we'll return shortly to continue wandering with my guest co-host, Natalie Peace.
Intrigued by Paranormal Talk Radio? You'll love the new Paranormal Radio app from TalkStream Live. You'll find a great selection of talk shows covering UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, and much more. Download the Paranormal Radio app now and start listening to the very best in paranormal talk entertainment, including the network you're listening to right now, the Paranormal Radio app. Free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
Hi, Matt Ray here with America's First News, and I have a question for you. What do we all have in common, regardless of our age or profession? The busy, the elderly, students, doesn't matter. What do we all have in common? Stress, right? Stress causes anxiety in our lives, and we are susceptible to memory issues from time to time too. So why not guard against both? Guard against the effects of chronic stress and improve your memory with one supplement, Calm and Clever. Ingredients help enhance memory and retain new information, while other ingredients reduce stress by maintaining healthy levels of the stress hormone cortisol. Calm and Clever was created by scientist Kurt Hendricks, a principal investigator in 2 NIH-funded studies on Alzheimer's disease. Sharpen your mind and feel calm and centered. Try Calm and Clever. Go to calmandclever.com. Enter the promo code radio for $5 off. Again, calmandclever.com. Enter the promo code radio for $5 off.
Come on, smile. Oh, honey, he's still not smiling.
Maybe he's not a smiler.
Yeah, maybe he's just not a happy baby.
Maybe he's just being a boy.
Or maybe he's teething.
Maybe it's just a phase.
Maybe he has autism, and we can definitely do something to help.
Maybe is all you need to find out more about autism. No big, joyful smiles by 6 months is one early sign. Learn the others at autismspeaks.org/signs. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
Author Kathleen Watts, a.k.a. Thought Continuum, shares a double abduction experience in her book, Catch Me If You Can, a story of alien abduction and culprit plunder. This 1976 true life account of a close encounter in northern Utah near Hill Air Force Base. Imagine driving home from the movies with your spouse when your car suddenly stops working, and it's in that very same moment that you realize you are the only thing animated. Catch Me If You Can, the 5th anniversary edition with lead-in material for the upcoming release of Payback is a Glitch from award-winning author Kathleen Watts. Get your copy today. Log on to thoughtcontinuum.com. That's thoughtcontinuum.com.
Your alternative talk radio contact. The Planet. KGRAradio.com.
and welcome back to Soul Wanderings on KGRARadio.com. It's been such a beautiful night, even perfect in order as
in the
always.
Imperfection.
Yes, I like imperfection. I mean, talk about, seeing if we're on our toes.
That's right. Can you just roll with it?
Yeah, so we were rolling with it, and you were sharing with us your newest experiences that you've been having, and I cut you off.
Well, we had to go to commercial, the money-making business.
It is. We got to pay some bills.
Yeah.
So tell us.
I'll tell you and everybody else that's listening to us.
The experience you were talking. Let's start over. Before the break, you were sharing.
Right. It's amazing to think about what someone that is 90 or older has seen in their life. All the changes that have gone through that have happened within the last 100 years.
Mm-hmm.
It's so radical to actually think what they have to navigate in what's currently commonplace.
But how would you even, I can't even remember a year ago sometimes.
Right. Well, first you have to put yourself in a space where you just open up some dialogue. So one thing I did with my mom recently, so my mom turned 80 this year. And I remember one of the last times I was visiting with her, I said, well, what kind of changes what do you remember? She was born in 1939. So when she was born, it was the Second World War. And I said, what do you remember from that time? And she says, I remember that we used to go out and pick the down from milkweed that they would then send for the soldiers' clothing, for padding or insulation in the soldiers' clothing. And that was just from a simple conversation. But to think about, well, first you have to think about what was going on in world history, and then tap into what someone that's older experienced.
Right. And what about that history before the break you were talking about?
So what happened was I went and did just a little learning session at one of these places. And so I was doing a thing that was stress reduction techniques. So we opened up the dialogue. Of course, understanding someone that's their 80s and 90s definitely has gotten some stress reduction techniques down. So
you would have to.
Right. So I wasn't there going, let me teach you how to reduce your stress. I was like, let's talk about what are stress reduction techniques. But before we got into that stuff, they were just chit-chatting about it. And they were talking about visiting with the prisoners of war that were kept here during the war, how the Italian prisoners had much more freedom to roam around than, say, the Germans that had to be kept much more under lock and key. And I was just fascinated to think within 100 years that was happening in my backyard, in Harrisville, that's around here. So it's not very far from here that they were keeping prisoners of war,
right,
where these ladies, and it was mostly ladies, had experienced that. It was a whole different type of a time in our country where the entire world was at war.
Right. I remember when I was younger, my dad, he always took us to ghost towns. And there are several in Utah, Idaho, Colorado, Nevada, Arizona, all those places. And one in particular was where the camps were out in the West Desert. And there's nothing left there, but the energy
was there,
is still very much there. And I even remember being young, 8, 9, 10, and feeling that something, he had told us the stories. We had this book. He would tell us what was going on, but actually feeling the experiences or feeling the weight, what I didn't understand at the time. And just whoa, what was that? What's that feeling in my chest? Or, why are my hands tingling? You can literally feel the history. And it's like that in so many places, especially here where we live in Ogden. There's just so much history here, but
it's true.
It's fascinating the things that we remember as we get older, that you just bring up even the dialogue of it, and it takes us right back to that moment. Mm-hmm. How you may forget about last week, but a memory or a song or whatever that looks like can take you right back into a moment 20 years ago.
So part of this, I believe, is this: we live in such an instant gratification world currently, especially with young people, that learning that life is so much bigger than Facebook or these things that are very new, very new. They haven't really withstood the test of time, and touching into things that just that's longer, much longer than that, opens our minds up in certain ways. And I find that it makes the emotional reactions, puts a perspective on life, where you might get so upset because something is not happening a particular way. So perspective is important. Life is so much bigger than right now.
So much bigger than right now. Right. And we don't really necessarily learn that right away either.
No.
Yeah.
No, and it's definitely, it's an interesting perspective where I'm going through right now, and just touching into that. And that leans into that emotional aspect where I feel like life is to be done, all of the emotions. Life is full spectrum. So all emotions are important in life.
Right. And the thing that I admire about you and watching you work with others is you are so adamant about the human experiencing that emotion in that moment. We're so prone to say, I'm so sorry, I'm crying, or I'm so sorry, like I'm freaking out. But you're like, no, stop apologizing and cry, freak out, do what you need to do. I really like that you show people and hold space for people when they are feeling their feels.
Have the feels.
Those feels.
So there are times to time I check in with myself and the way that I talk about grief and my emphasis on the difficult or distressing emotions. Mm-hmm. So I emphasize that and emphasize that. And what usually comes back to me when I'm doing my self check-in is joy's easy. Happy's easy. Those are much easier emotions to have. So I feel like that conversation about doing the hard emotions, going into what I call the swamp, and having those difficult emotions does not mean that we're going to stay there.
Right. But that's easy for you to say. Feeling joyous and happy is easy, when I'm sure you've noticed with clients that a lot of people are just downright depressed all of the time.
Because they're not
finding
feeling
the joy and the happy is not easy.
So this is my, this is my experience and my understanding. Depression is often a suppression of all emotions. So you're right. Joy isn't easy for someone, but there often is something in the history of the person where they stopped feeling. They've pushed down a lot of the literally depressed their emotions.
Is where depression came from.
Yeah.
What about something like seasonal depression?
Well,
where that has nothing to do with an actual emotion from an experience, but it's weather related.
It's true. So seasonal depression, there are definitely habits and ways of dealing with it that have, research has proven. So I actually am working with a client right now that I said, right now, you put into your routine the things that will help you weather the seasonal depression easier. Mm-hmm. So you start using your wake up light. There's particular lights, but you have to actually take control or responsibility for your experience. So I wonder, so this is a wondering, not that I know or don't know, but I often wonder, because it seems like depression, anxiety, these types of things almost becomes, like you were saying when we were talking earlier about empathic stuff. That's not.
Oh, we were talking about that during a commercial.
Yeah,
break.
we were. So that's not on air, but there are. If you experience particular things, it is completely your responsibility as that individual that experiences it to navigate that as best as possible. And it often means you must learn new things and do new things or new ways of navigating it. That's one thing with empaths, or also with depression. It's my point of view that those that work the hardest have the best way with that. There are things that you can do. And the only person that can do it is you. So as you take more responsibility for what's going on in your life, in your body, in your mental, emotional, spiritual space, you have more ability to navigate it, more ability to facilitate change within your own skin. Our bodies are amazing healers. They miraculous. The ability to heal things or to continue sickness. And I'm not saying that's with everything, but
progress the sickness.
Yes.
It's just incredible to me how, and every time this is a topic, how powerful our minds really are. It just blows me away how we are literally able to change our reality with a simple thought.
Or we have created the reality with our thoughts.
Exactly. Either way.
That awareness going, but that doesn't really lead into.
But where you're saying to feel your feels, because you always say that, let's feel that.
Right.
If someone's depressed, do they need to feel that?
Depression isn't an emotion.
Right. I understand what you're saying, but to some people, it is. That's what they need to feel.
But they need to understand. Okay, they will need to feel.
You see where I'm coming from?
I do. Right. But to open that topic up, depression isn't an emotion. So what we may actually need to do first is get a whole list of emotions and start having words for the emotional experience.
Right.
So if we don't have verbiage for it, we don't necessarily know. They say I'm depressed. Well, that means that, but okay, why? So what emotions are coming up? There's some of them.
Right.
And start navigating the emotional landscape.
Yeah.
There's times where we may be, we can be physically weak and we can't pick up weights or various things. We may have a similar emotional weakness where we haven't exercised that emotional muscle.
Bringing up the physical part, do you believe that our physical, I'll call it a depression, our physical depressions, our physical ailments, whatever that looks like, are related to our emotions? I may have asked you this before.
So when it gets really muddy, like when you're really struggling with the experience of depression, that's not so clear to sort out. Of course, I'm presenting a simplified concept,
right?
Which simplified concepts are great keys to then go look at what you're experiencing. So yes, our physical body or what it's experiencing can definitely lead, and it's this whole body experience, which is the physical, which is the emotional, which is the spiritual, all these different kind of connections. So we have to look at, what are we eating? What are you putting in for your fuel? How is that affecting your body? How does that affect your mind? Those types of things. How much am I moving my body? Because our body needs movement, even for our systems like our lymphatic to move. It doesn't have a motor. So we have to do this. We have to become aware. And it is, in my point of view, it's our responsibility to learn more than we know. If we're stuck somewhere in some illness, it's going to require some skill building, some knowledge to move ourselves out of it. And that I do see that that's a responsibility for each person. Maybe it seems unfair. But that's where it really lies, is with the individual.
Natalie dropping some truth bombs. Bam, just like that. Just like that.
Just like that.
Every time you're on the show, you always share this juicy nugget of information that I take along with me and really sit with it, ponder on it and really kind of evaluate it a little bit and implement it most times into my life if I need. I just think you're just like a whole knowledge of information and experience. But the thing that I admire about you is the things you share are real. They're real human experiences. It's not this woo-woo. It's not this spiritual. It's real life experiences. And sometimes it's stuff that we don't want to talk about. And sometimes it's hard to talk about or think about or feel about or anything like that. And you are really great at navigating people through those waters that you refer to.
Let's get real about it.
Yeah. What? But you also call it, what's it? What do you do?
I'm a human wilderness guide.
What is it called? What is it called?
Human wilderness guide.
Human wilderness guide. And you are.
So that insight that came probably since I've been on the show was, okay, so this is an interesting point to ponder for your audience that says, Spirit chooses to embody. Why? What in the world would Spirit want to do with a human body?
Good question.
So that's a good question. So I say, look, Spirit already chose to come and be human. So there's something significant about being human in this skin that does have limitations, that does have physical ailments, that does have these things. That's obviously... there's something for us to learn in this form. So I see that that's a significant part of this experience. Not as much, it's important. We are always connected to Spirit because that's a part of this. It's in the wiring. But there's an aspect of being human, not to become Spirit, but to stay connected with Spirit while navigating this human form. It's divine. It's so amazing.
And it's not as complicated as we make it out to be.
No.
No.
But
we're so good
to complicate things.
Yes.
Humans are good at complicating things. Ask the philosopher.
I'm a pro. I can complicate things very easily.
Now, there's a reason why I can talk about this stuff. It's because I've navigated lots of waters of my own messiness. And I'm not afraid to admit that, going, I haven't always had a succinct way to explain things.
Right.
In my life.
And that's why you do what you do.
That's why I do what I do.
Thank you so much for co-hosting tonight.
Thank you so much for asking me.
It's always a joy to have you here. And for those of you wondering, we'll definitely have Natalie back again because, after every show you're on, they're like, when's Natalie coming back?
That's amazing.
In the near future, just to answer that question, the after party we're referring to, that will be a topic of discussion.
Good.
We have some new things, new shifts and changes happening in the new year with Soul Wanderings. I'm really excited. So again, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
It's been another lovely wandering. You all can find Soul Wanderings on the main social media platforms as well as soulwanderings.com, which you can just go over there and link to all the social. And if you guys are interested in chatting with me, I love emails and I get them often and I'll reply to each and every one of you. You can do that by going to connect@soulwanderings.com. And of course, make sure you guys are following KGRA Radio on Facebook, on Stellar, YouTube, all the places, and share with your friends about this amazing station and all the great shows that are hosted here. And let's keep having these conversations that bring awakening and awareness and all of that good stuff into our lives. And I just want to give a shout out to Scott. Thank you for being on our show tonight, and Ray's for producing. You guys are all wonderful. And as always, I hope you all have a happy day.